Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you a video talking about my top 10 favorite Game of Thrones characters. Of course, ahead of the Season 7 premiere airing tonight. Very much looking forward to that. My review will be out on time within half an hour or so after the show airs. I'll be posting my thoughts about it. Very excited to begin the season and just see where this Endgame, takes us, 7 episodes this season, 6 episodes next year, and then, it's done. Very excited, very eager, but also very nervous and worried and all that, feels stuff that goes with it. It should be brilliant. I can't wait to see what they do with everything. And, I don't think I've ever done a top Game of Thrones characters video before. I know I've done it for The Walking Dead. I did it for, Z Nation, I think. And I thought now is the right time to even talk about Forgot for sure. Let's just get right into it. And I know right off the bat there's going to be order or rankings that people won't fully agree with, but this is my personal list. And there are some I left off of here that I know some will be surprised by. Catelyn or just some of the other ones I'm sure. But this is just my personal list, and you can feel free to post yours below, talk about why, or whatever you feel like doing. So let's start with number 10. My 10th favorite character on Game of Thrones is going to be Daenerys Targaryen. Of course, played by Emilia Clarke. One of our, leads in the show. There's no, main character on Game of Thrones, but, there's definitely, a set of who we know are sort of our lead characters, our main protagonists, like Daenerys, like Jon, like Tyrion, and then maybe Sansa and Aria and such. Daenerys, she's had a very long story, being from season 1, everything with Khal Drogo, to her rising as Khaleesi, breaker of chains, things like that. She's definitely one of our most one of our characters that we've spent the most time with over the seasons. For some people, I know she'd probably be higher. I know she's probably even some people's number 1 favorite character. There are just some parts in her story, at least within the earlier seasons, that sort of dragged a little bit for me. I just wasn't as interested in her as I was with other things going on. But I still really appreciate the character, and she's really coming to her own. I definitely admire and respect her, and I definitely want her to succeed in her conquest of King's Landing and everything eventually. My number 10 favorite is going to be Daenerys. And number 9 is going to be Jaime Lannister. Despite the actor starring in Gods of Egypt recently, he's a very talented actor as well. Every character on Game of Thrones is well developed, but he's definitely one of the best in that way, I think, too. From where we've seen him in season 1, just sort of being that arrogant, guard and everything like that, to his father. Sure, there were some moments where we've seen a little bit more to him, in his duel with Eddard. Where he actually got pretty pissed at the guy for stabbing him in the leg, making it an unfair fight. He did come off really arrogant, more of a simple sort of antagonist character in the first season. But as we get further into the show, especially after he's captured by Catelyn and Robb, and he's held by them, you start to see other sides to him, especially his time spent with Brienne. And his whole story, actual Kingslayer story, his relationship with Cersei, he'd do anything for her, but that's starting to crack a little bit. Very complex relationship there, and of course he's the only member of his family that really treated or has treated Tyrion with some love and respect anyway. Also a very talented warrior and fighter, even with one hand. My number 9 is going to be Jaime. I'm eager to see how his story is going to play out with Cersei this year. Maybe he'll become the Queen Slayer as well. But it should be interesting nonetheless to see where his story goes in the end. Number 9 is going to be Jaime. And number 8 is going to be Tywin Lannister, of course played by Charles Dance. A really great actor, and he's probably one of the most prominent villains ever on the show. I know a lot of people point to like Joffrey. Some people talk about Ramsay being the greatest villain of the show now. But I think people kind of forget about Tywin sometimes. For a time he probably was my favorite villain or like antagonist on the show, and in a way he still might be if it wasn't for who's going to be number 5 coming up here. But just played really well. Maybe he's partially my favorite villain because of his dynamic with Tyrion and his history with that. Maybe he felt more personal to me because Tyrion's such a favorite character of mine. Well, he's played really well. He has a great mind. He's the real reason why Joffrey was in control. He was kind of the real king in a way. But he has a great mind for battle and strategy. He's had some great lines throughout the series as well, especially shutting Joffrey down about having to say that any man who has to say "I am the king" is no true king, and things like that. So he has a great mind, but he's also, of course, very cruel and neglectful, and just sort of I could use other adjectives to describe him all day, but really good bad guy, I think. If you want to put it that simply. Who had a great dynamic with favorite character of mine on the show, and spoilers of course in this video if you guys didn't think of that, but his death, and Tyrion killing him might still be one of my most satisfying moments of the entire series, personally. So yeah, number 8 is going to be Tywin Lannister. Number 7 is going to be Arya Stark, of course played by Maisie Williams. And again, this is probably another character that's probably higher up on some people's list. She's probably someone else's number 1 as well. The only reason she's probably this low is because some parts of her story, like Daenerys, is sort of dragged for me a little bit, at least during like season 5 and 6. But nonetheless, still a character I've loved following over the seasons and seeing her grow. It's been a really great journey for her, and her payoff of Walder Frey in season 6 and everything was great. Her dynamic with the Hound. I'm really excited to see what the end of the series holds for her. I think she'll make it out, but I'm excited to see her reunite with Sansa and Jon and the others and everything like that. Should be good. Going from sort of like this tomboy to being this great assassin, it's been really good. And Aria's just a really entertaining character, and Maisie Williams, she seems like an awesome person in real life too. So yeah, number 7 is going to be Arya Stark. And number 6 is going to be Sansa Stark. I know some people would have her higher, but I know there's people that really don't like her for some reason. But Sansa Stark, played by Sophie Turner, I put just a little bit ahead of Aria because I feel like we've gotten a little bit more rich development with Sansa, or we've actually seen Sansa go through like more personally, I think, just by a little, especially due to her experiences with Ramsay and then Joffrey in earlier seasons. But really, what happened with Ramsay was absolutely awful, but she's come out of it as strong as ever, and she's really gained the most strength over the seasons, almost as much as anyone, I think. And she's become a pretty great manipulator herself. She has a pretty good mind, pretty good head on her shoulders now due to her experiences with Baelish, Littlefinger, who I hope to see her. I hope she doesn't try to betray Jon. I don't think Littlefinger will manipulate her successfully that much. But either way, it should be interesting. She's just come such a long way, and I'm rooting for her. I'm pulling for her. I'm worried that she might be one of our shocking deaths in the last 2 seasons, but I do hope she succeeds. She's been through too much, but it is Game of Thrones, so we'll have to see about that. But either way, such a well-developed character. Sophie Turner's done a great job over the seasons, just increasingly so over the years. So yeah, number 6 is going to be Sansa Stark. And now my top 5. My 5th favorite character on the show is going to be Cersei Lannister, played by Lena Headey, or Headey, I'm sorry if I butcher her name, but personally, I guess probably my favorite villain on the show is really between her and Tywin for that, but she's been in the entire series, and she's a character I love to hate, she is probably one of my favorite characters on the show in a way. Of course, she's in the top 5, but I love to hate her. I've despised her, but I've also rooted for her oddly in certain situations. Like I was happy when she killed the Tyrells, or at least Marjorie and the High Sparrow and everything. I was pulling for her at the end of season 6 there. So she's a villain I weirdly could enjoy watching and everything like that. She's so smart, the way she carries herself, her mind, her manipulative nature. It's a really cool villain to watch, I think, and Lena Headey's just done such a great job over the seasons. And once in a blue moon, like I said, you do root for her, you feel for her a little bit. Because she does care about her kids. That's her one quality that's ever so slightly redeeming about her, and even that's been a little bit spotty, I know. But I think Tyrion has a line in season 2 that it's her children that could redeem her, or her cheekbones. But yeah, of course I also despise her because of how she's treated Tyrion and place blame on him and everything. But still, nonetheless, a really well-written character, I think, and sort of one of our final villains of the show, besides Night King and the White Walkers and everything. And I'm glad to see that she's lasted this long, for the course of the series. I'm excited to see how she might finally be brought down this season. But yeah, number 5 is going to be Cersei. And number 4 is going to be Eddard Stark, of course played by Sean Bean. Started off the series, sort of as our main character, as our, sort of a lead, protagonist that we're supposed to be following. Probably still one of the biggest deaths on the show towards the end of season 1. Some, of course, I would like to have seen him last longer, still be alive to this day. But I think his death did do something for the show. It did sort of set the tone in the way the show is early on. So I think it actually had a good effect with his death. But still, nonetheless, a very honorable character. Sure, he's seen in flashbacks how he's when he was younger, he wasn't quite on that level yet. But a lot of respect for him. Sean Bean did a phenomenal job while he played him. Especially once they find out what he did for Jon and his sister. Of course, Robert's white love and everything like that. And what he had to do and how he had to lie to protect Jon. This really made me like him even more. A very great warrior himself, even though we didn't see much of him. But in the present, he was almost even with Jaime at his age. So, character I do still miss a lot in a way. He was a great presence on the show and still one of the best characters on the show to this day, I think. So, number 4 is going to be Eddard Stark. And my third favorite character on the show is going to be the Hound, Sandor Clegane, played by Rory McCann. One of the most enjoyable characters on the show to watch in general to me. Just a brutal fighter, but also skilled. He's not completely, he doesn't completely rely on his strength like the Mountain. He actually has some skill in the way he fights, I think. A really well-layered character, too, like many of them. But he's one of the most well-developed, too, I think, in a way. From fuck the king and fuck the city, to the way he started to care for Aria, their dynamic. And of course, because the way he fights is one of the most fun to watch, but he also has a great, layer to him. Of course, this way he talks, he's very honest, he's gonna eat every fucking chicken in this room and everything like that. And I'm excited to see him and Aria reunite. I'm wondering how things are going to play out on the end of him with the Brotherhood. I feel like he might go down protecting Aria from the White Walkers or the Army of the Undead or something. But either way, I'm excited. I wish we could see him kill the Mountain, put down his brother for what happened in the past. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that realistically, but either way. The Hound, one of my favorite characters on the show. I'm glad he is still alive when we got him back in season 6. Definitely one of the most capable fighters on the show too. And I do think his wound, his bite, that he had, kind of played a part in him losing to Brienne. But Brienne, is a pretty skilled warrior too. But I definitely like the Hound more, just as a character in general. I could go on and on about the Hound, for another 20-30 minutes if I wanted to. I could just go through every piece of his story so far, but yeah. Number 3 is going to be Sandor Clegane. So yeah, number two, my top two, my two favorite characters on the entire show. Number two is gonna be Jon Snow, played by Kit Harington. One of our main heroes of the entire series, arguably our main hero of the entire show. Really one of the most well built up over the seasons, from where we've seen him and Rob in the earlier stuff to him joining the Night's Watch, his friendship with Sam. Sam is another character that's kind of an honorable mention for me too, by the way. But definitely one of the greatest warriors in the show is, the internet broke when he was killed at the end of season 5, and then him being resurrected by Melisandre and everything in season 6 was amazing, and then the Battle of the Bastards, of course. He's just been a character that's been great to follow over the seasons, and the one we're going to need to count on to defeat, the Night King, I believe. So it should be great to follow him to the end here and just see how he's able to hopefully, get through all of this and lead everyone to victory. Just a great character. Kit Harington's done an excellent job over the seasons. He's only gotten better as an actor, like many of them. And, again, he's a character I could probably go on for another 20 minutes about, but yeah. My second favorite character of the whole show is definitely Jon Snow. Or Jon Targaryen, right? I don't know. Yeah, so my favorite character of the entire show, you could probably figure it out. But my all-time favorite character on Game of Thrones is Tyrion Lannister. Sorry for the picture there, it's a little bit messed up for some reason, but nonetheless, Tyrion Lannister, played by Peter Dinklage, my all-time favorite character on the show. I believe the smartest and most brilliant character on the show when it comes to strategy and tactics, just his knowledge of the world, and you could say street smarts. He's very real and very aware of how it is, and he's this greatest mind on the whole show. Like I said, I think also a fairly capable warrior. Despite his despite his size, which he was blamed for all his life. I've really felt for him all the seasons. The trial, that he went through with Tywin. Just an amazing performance by Peter Dinklage over the seasons. He did not kill Joffrey, but he wishes that he had, and everything like that. Also one of the most compassionate characters on the show for sure, I think, too, from how he handled things with Sansa and Joffrey. And then him aligning with Daenerys. It's been great, and I can't wait to see how he plans to overthrow his sister with Daenerys' army here. It should be great to watch. And definitely my favorite character on the show. I'm worried about him, but I'm hoping he's one of the main survivors of the entire series. That'd be great. I think it's possible. I think we'll see him actually make it through, but we'll see. But yeah, my number one favorite character of all of Game of Thrones, Tyrion Lannister. We couldn't have the show without him, I don't think. He's kind of the face of the show. Him and Jon Snow, I believe. You could also argue like Daenerys and Aria and Sansa as well, but he's my favorite. He's the most entertaining. He's the greatest comic relief. But then we can also go really in depth with him and really feel for him too. So yeah, number one, Tyrion Lannister for sure. So yeah, that's my list of the top 10 Game of Thrones characters from me anyway. Like I said, leave your list below, and I'll see you guys a little later tonight for my review of the Season 7 premiere. Really looking forward to it. Also admire my Game of Thrones shirt. House Stark, Targaryen, Lannister, of course. Yeah, really looking forward to the premiere tonight. I'll see you guys then. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.